Hi, in today's video I'm going to talk about PMP tips and tricks, and in this video I'm going to talk about around 11 tips that I usually see when you take the exam. So let's get started with the first tip. The first tip is about adopting a servant leadership mindset. So this is very important. If you are going to answer the questions, try to select the answer that is relevant to the leadership or to the servant leadership style. PMI does not want the project manager that they are instructing their team all the time, or they are taking autocratic position. So the right answers are usually the answers that are involving a leadership of servant leadership style. So this is the first advice. It's very important, don't forget it. The next advice, when you answering the questions, you are going to find many times that what should the project manager do first. So in this case of questions, you have to select what is the first action, because most probably you are going to face 2 or even 3 or even 4 options that are seeming right, but the right answer is what it should comes first, not second. So this is the second advice for you. Moving now to the third advice. Usually you need to understand the situation before taking any actions. So this is very important. You are going to see a lot of questions involving this scenario where the project manager is facing a problem, a situation, and there is a lot of options, and the project manager has to select first the option that involves analyzing the situation and understanding what's going on before jumping into giving a solution to the situation or taking any specific actions. So this is very important. Most probably you have to select the answer that involves analyzing the situation. Let's go to the next advice, which involves understanding the metrics. A lot of students, or most of the students taking the PMP exam, are reporting that the questions are no longer related to math. They no longer need to do any mathematical calculations. So you need just to understand the metrics, the KPIs, and it's no longer needed to understand how they are calculated and the formulas. For example, if the scheduled performance index, SPI, is above 1, then the project is ahead of schedule, and this is a good indication. So this is very important. All you need to retain here is you need to understand the KPIs, when you use the KPIs, and what their values indicate. So this is very important. Don't forget this. Next is the project manager should not break the rules, standards, regulations, policy, whatever. So keep attention. Any option that is involving breaking the rules is wrong. Project manager should not break the rules, and they should not take any decision that involves degrading the quality or or not following the processes set by the organization. This is a very important advice. Next is to be proactive. It's very important to be proactive when resolving problems. The project manager should not wait until the problem becomes bigger. They should be proactive and resolve the problem either at the beginning or even before the problem arises. So it's very important to be proactive. This means that any option that says the project manager should ignore the situation or should wait until they are most probably not correct. Next is do not escalate. Usually the answers involving escalations are wrong unless the decision is beyond the project manager authority. Sometimes the project manager should escalate if the situation or the decision is beyond their power, so they have to escalate it. But usually, or in general, the project manager should not escalate if they can resolve the problem themselves. Next is when you face question about communication, you should to select the answers with a face-to-face communication or direct communications. This means that options with indirect communications like email or push messages or stuff like that are not correct. So try to select the option in which the project manager are discussing directly with the concerned parties or stakeholders. This is very important. Face-to-face, number one, direct communication is the best answer. Next is firing a team member. Never select option with firing a team member. This is the wrong answer. You don't fire your team member. You try to help them, coach them, develop their skills, help them become better, but never and ever select option involving replacing or firing a team member. And the next advice is about choosing the option with the positive keywords and positive terms like discussing, collaborating, helping, coaching, and stuff like that. So try to avoid the negative keywords such as instructing or expressing dissatisfaction or escalating or stuff like that are not very positive keywords. When you spot one of them, try to avoid this kind of answers because they are most probably wrong. At the end, this is the last advice. If you are facing a question not clear or you are not clear about the right answer, you just go with the elimination method. This means that try to, instead of trying to figure out the right answer, try to figure out the wrong answers and try to get them out of you, and after eliminating one or two options, you will remain with 2 or maybe 3 options and select one of them and move forward. Here is an important advice. Try to flag those kind of questions. Maybe at the end of the exam you will have you will spare some time and you will check those questions. If you don't have time, that's fine, but you don't keep the answer empty. Try to select that answer and move on. Don't keep it empty because it's wrong anyway. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, you can put in the comments and I will try to answer all your questions. Bye.